Good evening. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today's Monday, September 12th. Nobody is watching. Hopefully somebody is watching. Hopefully somebody is watching. What a great opening day weekend for the NFL. Opening weekend. I'm just joking. Not opening day.
I actually did hear opening day during one of the games.
I told you.
Literally thought
opening day.
Somebody said that in one of the games.
It's a thing.
It might have been the CBS broadcast.
No doubt. It's a thing. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We have a lot.
Opening day for Sterling Automotive.
We have a lot to talk about. Great.
Punt return.
Great. First of all, there's a lot of things that I want to talk about, not only to the people listening, but to you specifically.
Well, me.
You in the hot seat.
Because of the conversations that we've had over the last couple weeks about what we've seen on the field and how, they should have been sharper, they should have been this, they should have been that. And can you tell the crowd and tell our wonderful fans what I was texting you as the other games were going on?
You went radio silent on a couple of texts. It was pretty interesting.
No, what happened was
interesting.
I was pointing out, you were pointing out, the games were very, they couldn't get the plays in all the time. They had to call timeout once. LSU did. They weren't as clean on the offensive line as I would have hoped. All these little things, right? They couldn't get off the field on third downs. Okay. Well, then Alabama was weird. Alabama called a timeout after not being able to get a play in. Alabama is kind of the class of college football. Wouldn't you agree?
They're playing a true away game.
Okay, right. Would you agree?
They're playing an away
That
game.
has nothing to do with being prepared.
Nothing
to do with being prepared.
A crowd noise
Right
doesn't.
there.
A crowd noise
literally
doesn't,
has nothing to do
crowd
with
noise doesn't stop you.
Literally has
from getting
nothing to do with being prepared. Okay, were you at the game?
Would you rather play?
Were you at the game last weekend?
Which one?
In New Orleans, were you at the game?
Yes.
Would you say that was a pro LSU crowd or a pro Florida State crowd?
Would you say that the Texas game was a pro Alabama crowd or pro Texas?
Pro Texas.
Hey,
that has nothing to do.
answer to the
I know
question.
that has nothing to do with preparation.
Diversion.
Second, Alabama had 15 penalties.
Yeah, that was sloppy.
Okay, sloppy. Offensive line was getting their shit pushed in.
Sloppy.
Okay, and they were giving up some pretty big plays.
And they won.
They did win because they have a Heisman quarterback as their quarterback, and he able to make the play.
Who's
Our
to
quarterback
say LSU doesn't?
made the play. Who's to say? Our quarterback made a play,
Got a little future
and then
on that.
obviously our special teams wasn't great. My point is, it happens to every team. Notre Dame went down. Alabama almost went down. A&M went down. Boy, A&M
It's down.
cannot be happy. Boy, they gave a lot of money to Jimbo. And I think Jimbo's a great coach.
Recruited because they thought.
Look, and we've talked about this. I think Jimbo's a great coach. You think Jimbo's a great coach? A&M has a cloud over that stadium or over that program that they can't get better than 8-4. That's just
It
what
might
they
be
do.
that Friday night midnight yell bullshit they got
Was
going.
that? Not next year. I don't think. Yeah, just keep saying next year. We're gonna go next year. No. Hey, next year you have the 50th rated recruiting class in the country. You have the number one in the history of recruiting on campus right now, and you got your shit pushed in by Appalachian State, and it shouldn't even been that close.
He's got a 5-year plan. What is it?
You
Don't
got
die?
lucky. You got lucky that you had a kick return for a touchdown to even keep it close.
That was,
Unbelievable. Now the defense played great.
How
Because
about
Appalachian State scored 70 last week.
Haynes King? He looked like a space
Boy, okay.
cadet.
You're right about Haynes
I would
King.
love to talk to Jimbo about him because I feel like I'm watching Charles Barkley swing a damn
He
golf
was right.
club when I see him throw the ball.
I don't like to admit this, but you were right about Haynes King. I've never seen Haynes King play actually like real time because he was hurt last year and he had a bunch of hype. Boy, is his throwing motion stinky.
It's tough to get on board, huh?
I mean, he throws it from like up top.
When
It's
they give you a still shot, you're like, there's no way he's actually trying to throw. Something must be wrong with his shoulder, and he's just stretching this thing out.
It's almost like remember when you were younger and they're teaching you how to throw a baseball, and they said, okay, you want to get here?
Scarecrow,
Thanks
big
away.
scarecrow guy.
And scarecrow, and he had to come across. That's literally what he was doing, except his arm was even higher. Like, how are you throw a football?
With the football.
With a football.
I don't know how he does that.
That was ugly. Very long delivery. I can't imagine him being a starting quarterback there for much longer. I mean, you have Max Johnson who
But we
went
got to switch
27.
something up after you just got smacked by them, right?
I mean, your backup quarterback has started in the SEC for a year and some change, and he threw 27 touchdowns last year and 5 interceptions? 4
How do you think
interceptions?
he's feeling right now?
Probably pretty good. He's probably going to be in there next week.
About
Who they play? Do y'all know who they play?
Who?
Hey, who does A&M play next week?
Let's see. I just happen to be on the internet over here.
Speaking of, do we get the internet like Gucci?
Oh, Miami.
Oh,
Ooh, big one.
That's a fun matchup.
Are they at home?
Yeah.
Miami's Miami's on the upswing, and A&M is. I don't know where A&M is trying to
I would
go.
love to hear what the Yell leaders have to say about the old University of Miami.
I don't
Well,
want to
the
hear
whole-
what
okay,
the Yell
first of
leaders
all-
have to say.
I don't understand that whole yell thing. I don't get that.
That might be what the taboo at this whole place is.
That may be
they
the,
still
that,
do
that, that's the Black Cloud thing.
God.
I think that's the Black Cloud.
You
Is that-
think? You can't show that to a single person and say,
You think those?
this is why
I
you should come
can't
to school.
You think
believe
the Yell
I can't
leaders are
believe they
very,
get authorized to open the stadium doors to do that. I tell you, hey man, get out of here with that. We're not gonna do that in our stadium.
Do you think that the
I
Yell
would-
leaders are popular with the fans or the students or the of the opposite
Love is
sex?
love.
I mean, I'm just asking. I didn't know.
Love is
I have
love.
Hey, do they
I
have
no
their own
problem
section
either
in
way.
that stadium? Like, do they sit together? Like, how's that go?
The Milkmen?
The Yell leaders.
Hey, I've been
the
told.
Yell leaders.
I've
Like,
been
really,
told that
really.
like people like
Vie for
that
that
is what they
position.
yes. That's like a coveted position. At
Yeah, I'm
A&M.
good. I'm straight.
Our friend.
Well, then you can't get in.
I'm straight. I love you, Nolan, but I'm straight.
Our good friend says sometimes they have 50,000, 50 with 3 zeros behind the comma at the stadium.
Recruits doorstep.
The midnight yell. Like that's on a Friday night. I promise you, where I know where I'm not going to be is I'm not going to be in a stadium yelling.
I can never partake in that.
Before a game. That's not happening.
And the thing is, they swear by it. Like they'll take the L on a couple of things. Like, yeah, the beginning isn't great, but the midnight yell is one of the greatest traditions in college football. And the only people that think that are the people that go to A&M. It's like everybody else is watching.
Everybody that has the ring.
That shit stinks.
Everybody that has
the
the ring.
dumbest shit I've ever seen.
That shit still works.
Could you imagine
It's so
trying
bad.
to defend that? Like,
Oh,
no,
man.
dude, it's good. Like, no, dude, it's not.
Only the people that defend it have the ring. The A&M like school ring or whatever.
I'd rather
it
go
is
back
that-
to a high school pep rally than watch.
I
that
love the
again.
high school pep rallies, dude.
I'd rather do,
You get
and
up
I'd
there
rather
and
go
say,
back to a high school pep rally.
We're gonna beat the Lions' butts this weekend.
Yeah.
yeah, and everybody screams like that's great. So
I'd rather do it as a grown up
No.
than watch it or
No
be a
doubt.
part of the Yell
100%.
squad.
I'd rather beat Jackson Street and Friday Night Lights than do that. He ends up in a wheelchair.
Oh.
mean, okay. Well,
Hey,
we
yo.
went from
Hey.
entertaining to like dark.
Yo,
It's okay. It's a little dark. You're a very dark person.
I just couldn't imagine that. There's no
Boy.
worse feeling
Jesus
than
Christ.
being that guy with the microphone knowing he's not funny. And he's trying to entertain.
But he doesn't know that.
50
He thinks that he's
that's
funny.
I know. That's the worst part is that
Not having
like,
self-awareness.
right to be like I should do this. Like, bro, no. When,
how often do you think he goes home and he's like,
I crushed it.
that was one of my best performances?
Do you think he practices? He practices in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt, right?
Trust
No
me.
doubt.
No
He
doubt.
might have a dry take in the stadium with no mic.
Oh yeah, Russell
Why not?
Wilson's it.
Or with the mic, echo, so everybody can hear it. Like, hey, come on here, I'm here
And,
ready.
and he slaps hands on the
I'm
way out
ready.
like Russ.
Speaking of Russ,
Russ is tonight.
hey, Russ is riding tonight.
That guy.
I do have them. Now I'll put a little dabble.
Open mic night. at the
MM LSU
Apollo.
Full. If you want to download the Caesar Sportsbook app, we are working diligently with our good friends at Caesar Sportsbook to figure out a way to make this a little bit more enticing for everybody to sign up. Because I get it, you want to sign up, you don't want just a credit. Maybe we can figure out a different type of promo code. But for right now, you sign up, you get with MM LSU Full, you get a risk-free bet up to $1,250. If you want to use that bet, there's a prop that I think it's Let Russ Cook prop on Caesars.
Goodness.
It is 200.
Mikey talked himself into this.
Well, I just did it because I have Russ on my fantasy football team, so I'm trying to will this to happen, put this in the universe. 299
I need a good Russ to show up.
He needs to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And
I'm
it's,
like, okay.
Tonight? That's doable.
Russ starts off the season hot as shit every year.
That's doable.
he's this is his first game with the new team.
I don't care.
He hasn't played any games with. He's been going through dry reps over there.
I mean, have you not seen his work?
Yeah,
He's doing dry
there's
reps with
anybody-
his uni on. This guy has envisioned this moment for the last
Russ
year,
wore the
okay?
uniform back to the crib the
I
other
mean, you
day.
kidding me? He showed up first day of camp with his uniform. He is ready.
The game one too, not even the practice one. He wore. I didn't
He is
know how it
ready.
feels, coach.
This guy's high-fiving people out the huddle.
that don't exist.
I mean, dude, he is so locked in. It is. I can't look. I wish the prop was 404. I think you can get for that. You go for that. Listen, he's got Jerry Jeudy, stud. Cortland Sutton, stud. He's got, I guess, KJ Hamler's
Hamler,
still there, stud.
stud.
You have Melvin Gordon, who's going to be your goal line back, and you have Javonte Williams behind in the backfield, right? Studs. Defense, the The Broncos were almost a playoff team last year, and they had stinky quarterback play. Now you have an all-pro who's going to come in there with all of these weapons, and he's going to be dishing it out. First game of the season, Russ trying to make an impression, sign this big deal, 3 touchdowns, book it, plus 550. I did put some money on that.
I'll put a 5
I'm
spot
going to hit
on
it.
it.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I think our 5 spots are different.
I put a 5. Not that 5. I didn't put too many. There's not too many. There's not 2
comma
zeros
there?
behind it. Yeah, no comma.
But
That would be a
if
bad
you
bet.
did what Russell Wilson did at any other profession, people would think you would get booked to go to the insane asylum.
Here's an example. Here's a very small example.
If you saw your coworker like fake fill up his water cup and like fake make
I'm about
coffee,
to tell you. So I played in Double-A. We had a guy, catcher. Remember him, Mark Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Lot of demons, but very nice guy, and was a good catcher. He could hit. He could throw. We were playing in Birmingham in Double-A. It's hot as shit. End of the season. The cages are in the outfield, and we're hitting, and like nobody really wants to be there. Meanwhile, Mark is walking to the cages, cut off shirt, shorts, and he starts getting in the batter's box, and he's like practicing his stance, and he's swinging, and he's acting like he had a home run. He starts jogging around the bases, and we're all sitting in the cages like, what the fuck is he doing? Sure enough, what did he do that game? Homer. He just envisioned it happening. Just go. Now we made fun of him. So you asked, have we seen a coworker? Yeah, we did. We saw one, and we made fun of him. But he hit the home run, so I guess the last laugh is on him. But
I've actually seen that happening too. I was in
you
I was in
envisioned
High
it
Point,
happening.
and they had the cameras were literally on home plate. We're in the clubhouse just chilling. What the opposing team's center fielder, just there's no cages right there. Comes up to the plate. This is 4 hours before the game. Cameras happen to be on, so we're in the clubhouse. We see this thing rolling. He's at the plate,
this
going
sounds
through a
awesome.
full at bat, taking real swing, stepping out, calling time. Sure enough, first 2
Batting
at bats,
gloves.
double off the wall, double the other way off the wall. I'm like, shit.
maybe I should be doing that.
I need to get out here
You
tomorrow.
know, like there's something to that now.
There's a line. Because
Yes.
I do believe in visualization. You can see it. It happens on the golf course. I always talk about it any other profession other than athletics. Like, do you think people are like, man, I'm about to go sit down in my cubicle. I'm going to get my fucking water ready.
Like, what if you
Hey,
went? Hey, what
I'm
if you,
gonna
like,
type so many words per minute
minute,
today.
Hey, what if you went to Albertsons and the guy at Albertsons when you walked in, the bagger at Albertsons was like fake putting stuff in the bag and was like,
What are you doing? I'm practicing.
He's
I know you're
walking
gonna
around
be
with
here.
no cart and on the asphalt and he just putting it back. Like,
Hey, I bet you he'd be nails that you get in and out of there real quick. You wouldn't have any hesitation.
man.
But I think Russ took it a little too far.
you think?
I mean, he was full uni on his knees with a fake huddle when he was hurt with his mallet finger, right? And so, anyway, the whole point of this whole conversation is I think that I'm hoping. I don't want to say I think I'm hoping.
no,
he
you're
goes for-
seeing, you're visualizing.
I'm visualizing him going for
Manifesting.
303, win the prop, and I also took. If he's going to go for 303, I
You gotta
also
take the
took the Broncos -6.
Because Mitch and I are on a take of the Seattle Seahawks are tanking. They didn't get a quarterback. They thought they might fall ass backwards into
And
Jimmy G, and now you're stuck with
Kenneth
Geno.
Walker III is not playing. I don't believe.
So it's Rashad Penny.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker was like supposed
Yeah,
to
they
be
drafted
the guy,
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So
probably
he's not-
protecting him. They're saving their draft picks.
We need you next year.
I
Yeah.
think they're
Anyway.
tanking.
-6, I think.
We're trying to get Bryce up here.
The
We need you next year.
the only person that hurts is Pete Carroll because he's not long for this world. He's 85 years old.
Hey, he's still sprinting out the huddle. Out the
Playing
tunnel.
quarterback.
He's doing it.
Jaw hurting. So much gum
So
chewing.
much gum.
It's gonna be fun though. I want
The
to give this.
mandible on that man.
Before we keep talking sports, I do want to give a disclaimer. I will have to bounce in a little, not a little bit, probably in about 50 minutes,
15?
50 because I can't let our my fantasy football team, not fantasy, flag football.
No, that you're living your fantasy.
I'm living my fantasy of playing flag football. I can't let them down today. I have to go out there. We have to get a dub tonight. So I'm going to be playing.
No picks
So the boys,
tonight, man, please.
The boys are going to close down the show. It's not going to be a long show. We don't have a guest, but we have a lot to talk about. So let's get to it.
I think we're just going to end it whenever you bounce.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, a little hour
We got
show.
a Monday Night Football to watch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll lead you right into Monday Night Football. Well, before. I mean,
We need to kick.
what?
Get him to the kick.
Yeah,
Sunday night
yeah,
countdown.
kickoff.
First,
Monday night
but
countdown.
before we get into it, no picks tonight, man. Please.
Hey, I already got my head. I visualized this.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
That's all that's gonna happen.
He started,
Hey,
he,
listen.
he did what every
There we go.
little person from Louisiana did
Listen.
through the football at the tailgate. And he's
Listen.
like, I'm back.
I'm back.
Listen. I had a couple libations. All right, I'm playing.
I took steroids.
They use a cornhole thing for bags.
I'm playing some cornhole. I'm draining buckets in cornhole. These guys here, my friend next to me challenged me. He goes, "Hey, I bet you can hit this guy about 40, 45 yards away." He goes, "I bet you can't hit him with a dime."
Take your shirt off.
I took it, gave it a little Drew Brees lick on the finger, laser tight spiral right in his chest. The guy was like, "Huh?" Yeah, I'm like, "Anyway." Train buckets on the corner. It was a nice sequence. It was a nice sequence of events. I'm ready. I'm locked in. There's gonna be a lot of rolling out, a lot of backside deep bombs on the other side of the sideline. We're gonna utilize the whole field tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey,
I hope they're listening and just covering everything.
Yeah, that's okay. Good. I hope they cover this way. Then we'll go this way. I got it.
I would love to watch because if it doesn't go your way, the frustration that's gonna happen is.
Now listen, chemistry may be a little off, kind of like Jameis.
Kind of like us on Friday. We got into a tiff. The boys got into a little bit of
after the fact.
After the fact.
Because you were being a little asinine.
Oh, well, hey, products of the pudding.
It
wasn't really a tiff. It was more like we give you a very good idea how it goes, and Lloyd said like, "Yeah, but I don't think it goes that way."
Well, who do you see return of punts?
It does. That was actually the second time that you've argued with somebody who was first-hand experience, actually.
Lloyd's, by the way, Lloyd's.
Did Perry play consecutive plays? Yes.
That's
I saw
not
it.
what I
I was
said.
there.
I was actually in the huddle.
I was there in the huddle while he's calling the plays. I was on the team and he's ran consecutive plays in a row.
That's not what
No,
I said.
I don't think it happened that way.
I said, did he lead consecutive drives?
Did you just hear him too? He just literally moved the chains a little bit. He just goes, "Yeah, did you watch the game? He wasn't back there." We never said anything.
I didn't say he was going to put him back there this game. We said he wasn't going to.
I said now if he doesn't put him back there this game, I wouldn't be surprised. I just said you can't pull him in game one like that. You can't do that.
That's the whole point.
I'm proud of Brian. Both of them.
I'm also proud of his presser. I love his pressers because he does have he does get little snarky jabs, which I respect. Okay, enough over there.
I know me myself.
But what was I talking about before we started talking about?
Oh,
Jameis.
Jameis. So, wait, what about Jameis though?
You just brought him up about Saints, Jameis, where we are, quirky. Prescott, his interviews.
You're talking Brian Kelly press conference.
No, I was talking Jameis first. I wanted to get to Jameis, but I got away. But I guess we'll stay with Jameis. That was an unbelievable comeback. I mean, Jameis was Jameis. His press conferences and his interviews are my favorite things in the world. One, because he's extremely genuine about what he does, and two, because he's inadvertently funny.
Oh my God!
Like he doesn't his eyeballs go everywhere, and his eyes get real big, and I can say stuff because my eyes do that sometimes. Like I talk with my face and my hands, and Jameis talks with his face, but it's just so funny when that comes out. But he has that entire team bought in to him, right? And what we saw at the end of the game in Atlanta is something we haven't seen for last 5-6 years. Is, okay, hey, we've always been really good with our 2-minute drives and scoring points and be able to hurry up and play with a sense of urgency. We're going to do it?
Absolutely.
All right, let's play it. Play it.
Where was the pain, Jameis?
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere. So we got to keep on pushing through.
If you're watching this without sound, you want to know what he's saying.
Yeah. But you know that why he can't tell him what was hurting because you can't let anybody know what was going on. So he was everything's hurting.
I'll say this too. You know what's so funny about
everything's
you know what's so funny too when you think about Jameis and you think about the game that they just played. People forget that as a starter at Florida State, he lost one game. They got blown out in the bowl game.
That's what he.
But he lost one game as a starter there, right? And then he goes to Tampa and doesn't play well. Y'all forget, the guy's a lot better than what people think.
No doubt.
It may not look aesthetically pleasing as you want it to look, but the guy can play, and it's easy to get on board with the type of person he is because you can see it, dude.
Because he's very genuine and people. I'll tell you what I can get on board.
Thomas sitting right next to him, going, "I don't know what's gonna come out this man's mouth."
I'll tell you what's aesthetically pleasing to me is those 45-yard balls down the sideline. The ball's going across the middle. There's not a throw on the field that he can't make.
He's the football version of the guy that you watch as a pitcher. Where you're just all right, when I watch him run or feel the ball, his position, it don't really look that good. But when he throws a fastball,
yep.
it comes out nice.
No doubt. And I know what I was going to say. So him and I was talking about how I'm not going to have a lot of chemistry with my receivers tonight because I hadn't played with them. I don't have. And so Jameis and Michael Thomas, you could tell, hadn't practiced a lot together. They haven't been on the field in game situations because you can practice all you want. We've had this discussion. Yeah. Real time, everything happens a lot faster. So real time, Jameis was maybe a little bit behind. They weren't coming out the breaks the right way, and you could tell there's a little frustration, not necessarily on Michael Thomas's face because of Jameis, but because they just couldn't get in sync. They weren't mad at each other. It was just, hey, we're frustrated because we can't get this thing right. Yeah. Boy, when they got it right, they got it right because 2 touchdowns, 60 yards receiving. Jarvis, who nobody's talking about, had 7 catches for 115 yards, the biggest play of the game. Now, I wish the referees would have communicated a little bit more clearly to Jameis that he was out of bounds and not in bounds because then we wouldn't have had the intentional grounding, which I thought was going to be a detriment to us. Yeah. But then something happened on the other drive, the Falcons drive, where the refs didn't communicate well either that way. So there were some.
Hey, it was actually week 1 for the referees as well.
It was the Mariota play where they blew it dead, and we thought we had the sack fumble. But hey, if it's dead and the quarterback is sitting there, run in there and stop this play because this is their guy. You know what I mean? So outside of that, now I'm not even gonna blame that on Jameis. I think that was just he thought he was out of bounds. He was doing the right thing if you were out of bounds. But that drive and the way, we scored 14 points, should have been almost 16, which awful 2-point conversion put on that second attempt. Yeah,
that one I didn't love that one.
You have Taysom Hill, who has run for 80 yards.
I think that guy falls for 3 yards every time he touches it.
Right, I don't think he knows what a negative game is. So you take him out and you put
soaking the defense.
Ingram in there, and you want Ingram to run the play. I love Mark Ingram. I think he's very good, but
well, not just that too. You got to think when you bring Taysom in, there is a realistic opportunity that he might pull it back. He might pull it down and throw it.
No doubt. So that was the only.
Keep him in there for that.
Whatever. We ended up coming back. Ended up winning. But to come back and do those things after being so abysmal on the offensive side, not really having a lot of continuity and chemistry and timing, and then saying, all right, maybe we shouldn't drop back anymore. Maybe we should put him out the shotgun, take 3-step drops, and get this ball out. And then everything started kind of running. You can start seeing the balls over the middle of the field, big chunk plays. You haven't seen that in a long time from New Orleans.
And the thing too is if you're familiar with NFL football, if you kind of know anything about the Atlanta and New Orleans rivalry, those are always usually good games. It really doesn't matter where the score is, but if you're familiar with NFL football and you watch football, down 16 points with 10 minutes left in the game, you almost can cash those in with how bad they played that whole game. Yep. And so for them to come back and win that game, I don't care who it's against. It's still the NFL.
Well, then you had to
that should speak volumes on what you got there.
And you had to get a stop, even though the defense didn't play as good as they probably wanted to play. They gave up. This is the first.
But when they needed it.
Yeah, when they needed it, they stopped. Right, first 100-yard rusher they'd given up in 20 games. Right now, Cordell Patterson
looked like a problem.
Yeah, he was, and he's 33. I don't know if people realize that he's 33. He just became a running back. That's why he's wearing 84. He just started becoming a running back.
His first carry of the game, he cuts it against the grain, cuts it again, and then cuts it up.
I'm bro, what?
He's a 240-pound kickoff returner. That's what he was, a kickoff returner.
6'2", 6'3", too.
And he can fly.
From?
Cordell Patterson, Tennessee.
All right.
Was it Tennessee? I thought it was South Carolina.
Oh, no, that's Debo.
But he's a problem. Defense was probably not happy with the way they played, especially in the run game. But when you need it the most, Mariota fumbles a snap. Obviously, moves a little fast, gets a little big. Ball hits him right in the stomach. Goes right through his hands, right in the belly button.
Yep.
Drops it, picks it up. You think, oh no. He picked it up. He's going to be able to run for one. Mario Davis stuffs him. Ball game, get the ball back. Jameis goes all the way down. Big throw to Jarvis.
Down the sideline.
Ball game. I'm like, how awesome is it to have Will Lutz back?
And it's crazy too because he also hit Jarvis in the seam, and that literally earlier in the game, that literally made me go back to that looked like
LSU.
Well, it looked like Heyday Breeze, when you actually able to use the seams the way they.
I was thinking Arkansas LSU.
Right. When Breeze was running these 2-minute drills, it was chunk play.
They would kill you down the seams all the time.
And then you would squeeze it, and then you had the sidelines, and I'm like, damn. And we hadn't seen that in a really long time. We saw it. To be able to come out on the road in a division game with your backs against the wall and win like that.
And I look, I said it before, I'll say it again. I understand how good Drew Brees was for that team. Not having Michael Thomas for 2 years is the X factor.
I mean, you
for
saw
that guy
him
makes
to the goal line.
he makes every play that's close to him. He makes every contested catch. He's a big body, long body, strong. Like,
I mean, the back shoulder throws that they had him on the
my
end
God.
zone, like they were hard as shit to make.
Yeah.
He made them. What?
Sex.
What happened?
He just looks like he can do it.
Oh, is that you all had these conversations yesterday?
Yeah, off air.
Of course.
Yeah.
it didn't come up. He brought it up.
Oh, she went on. She goes here.
Oh, I mean, I would imagine he's
Make me a bicycle clown.
imagine he's blessed.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of confidence.
They look like a baby leg.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's.
Brings his old pool stick.
That
to
thing
the
got an
table.
elbow.
First team all shower.
Oh man.
Oh God.
But it's a very encouraging. There was not that. There's a lot of games.
Hey, yo, we're a sports show.
Sports show, a little shenanigans. You're a big shenanigans guy. You're the shenanigans. It's fine. We need the shenanigans. But back to sports. Bring it back. Let's bring it back.
That is Katie's fault.
Bring it back. No, it's okay. It's okay. Listen, I like the change ups.
Rise up.
But we have a little. I don't have that much time. We're gonna get into something.
I just don't know what you're speaking of anymore.
I don't know either.
That just didn't remind me of Russell Wilson for some reason.
I don't know either.
Right.
For a weekend of NFL games of having a lot of kickers trying not to win games, it was nice to see having Will Lutz on the team to win it. It's something that we've seen for a really long time. We didn't get to see it last year. We saw how big of an issue it was. What?
I said especially in Baton Rouge.
Well,
It's
that's
amazing what special teams can do.
Not the field goal kickers fault in Baton Rouge.
That's what I'm saying.
We're gonna go to the special teams, which brings me to the Bengals game, because Joe Burrow had a rough one. He had a tough one, but he still put the boys in a position to win the game. And your deep snapper tears his pec, which
Crazy.
did he do it before the game? Did he do it like
No,
on a
he was-
tackle?
They tore his
No.
biceps.
It happened.
Biceps.
No, it happened like in game.
So did he like on a tackle?
I think there was. Yeah, I don't remember if it was on a tackle, but there was a penalty. I'm pretty sure thrown on him, and I think it was. I don't remember seeing him after that.
So they take him out, which the long snapper, you don't ever know who he is.
First off, I don't think people understand the level at which snappers actually snap. It's so elite that it's funny. Like it literally looks like they're standing there throwing an overhand when they snap. It's not the same.
And it's tight spiral, really hard,
low,
all in the
hard.
same spot.
It's all in the
And
same spot.
With the same amount of rotation every
Oh,
time.
it's literally like a machine.
It's money, right? So you get used to it. You have the long snapper, the holder, the kicker, right? They go. Now you lose the long snapper. You don't ever hear about the long snapper because you're not supposed to. But when you do, it's not good usually. He gets hurt. They bring in the other guy.
Ooh.
And he snaps a changeup back there on the game winner.
Well, you know what's funny? They were going to kick the game, and I didn't realize that the long snapper was out. So I'm watching it, and I just remember the ball goes back, and I didn't say anything, but I'm just like, damn, that shit took long for them to get back. I didn't realize the snapper was out.
Right.
I'm like, damn, that shit. Oh, they blocked it, and they start talking about it. I'm like, well, that's why it wasn't even a snapper in the game.
Right. So he throws a changeup, gets blocked. I'm like, oh no, this is not good. Well, then Joe brings them all the way down. They're gonna kick a game winner on the goal line, basically, right? They're on like the 5. Snapper snaps it super high. Kicking is all
Change
rhythm.
up high.
Yeah, change up high, all rhythm. Guy gets down. They're one of the best kickers in the league.
Yeah.
He just kicked a 58-yarder earlier in the game. Hits one way left.
I mean, he didn't even hit the ball. Imagine
No.
imagine being in the box and trying to open your eyes when the ball's halfway there.
Right.
Like he was literally looking down. There's no ball.
Right. So like
For the
he tried
longest
to,
time.
And then you catch a knuckler. You catch laces.
Well, he
right.
caught nothing. He was like, I don't know where you want me to kick at.
so he shanks it, right? So then they go back. Boswell, who's nails, kicks the ball, knuckles clank off the post. They go all the way back down again. Joe Burrow fumbles, which is kind of I understand the rule. I understand why the rule's in place because you can't fumble to your advantage.
Right.
But like, if Joe would have,
But
picked
it's
it up,
only after a certain time in the game too, which is weird. I'm pretty
Is
sure
it?
they said. I'm pretty positive they said that.
But
I think
Joe
it's under
fumbles.
2 minutes, so you can't.
Yeah,
fumble.
like it's.
You can't like fumble forward on purpose.
But he didn't fumble forward. He fumbled backwards. The guy picked it up and advanced.
Yeah.
They're taking away like the rugby aspect to
No,
where
I
you
get it.
can't like put it on the ground and have somebody pick it up.
Right. No, I understand that, but like, it's just I don't know. If Joe picked it up, he could have ran it.
Yeah.
Right.
He could
Right.
have scored. Yeah.
Right. And so fumbles it. Guy goes around, gets them in field goal range. I'm like, oh, they're going to win it. Doesn't count. Go back, have to punt. I'm thinking it's going to end in a tie. I thought there's 2 games are going to end in a tie last.
Terrible punt and terrible
Sunday.
clock management.
And then they go all the way down. Boswell gets a second chance, wins the game. So kickers didn't want to win the game. The kicker that did want to win the game, which we have seen a lot, is our friend Cade York. Kicked a
Stone Cold Killer,
Hey,
game 1.
This is no joke. That ball is good from 70.
Stone Cold Killer, game 1.
I mean, that field goal is good from 70 yards, from 58, 59 yards from the logo, which kicking off the paint's a little weird. I'm not a kicker, but like I know that whenever you're on the paint, like you're on the logo, it's a little different because like you paint, it's a little slicker, whatever. This man kicks this ball and splits the uprights, and I'm not joking. I think it's good from 70.
He could have hit a quarter.
It was unbelievable. That's why you draft him. That's why you draft a kicker in the 4th round. You're starting to see that more and more. Obviously, you had who's the guy from the Raiders?
Sebastian
Janikowski was the first. But like you're gonna start seeing they drafted McPherson, I think, in the 5th round last year. Like you're gonna start seeing these kickers because if you have that range, that's a weapon. Justin Tucker,
that's not
like
even fair.
if you can get it within 60 yards and you're in field goal range, I mean that's
You got an offense that doesn't turn it over, and all they got to do is just get past midfield.
Les Miles could coach in the NFL.
No. No.
Now, coach what?
Yeah.
Coach football.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I don't.
What,
I
you don't think that
don't-
offense could get you across the 50? They're kicking it from 70 yards
Coach,
away.
The offense could barely get across 50 in college.
Yeah, Jordan
This is
Jefferson
NFL.
had to take matters into his own hands, broke that man's leg.
By the way, we've gotten a lot of compliments on the Jordan Jefferson interview.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, he rocked.
I can't wait till he comes in studio.
Yeah.
Well, maybe at Earl's. I don't think he's
Probably
coming
a
in
Friday.
town.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's coming in town middle of the week.
I don't think he's got much to do in Baton Rouge on a
No,
Wednesday, but
Justin Jefferson,
Oh, yeah, he was no good, huh?
he's okay at football, huh?
Good Lord.
Jesus Christ.
I don't
So she
understand how he's
showed
always
out.
wide open, bro.
Just fucking great route runner, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Great
but-
route runner. Leonard Fournette looked like a baller too last
I
night.
thought he was fat. What happened?
He looked fast.
How about the
he looked strong.
Omok?
Yeah,
Tiger
maybe
Smock.
he's high, maybe he's a little high. I love that he still has the LSU shoulder pads.
That's the thing, though. I think
I know.
everyone, like pretty much everyone does that.
Yeah. So, but he balled out. Tom Brady needed him to ball out because they kind of weren't clicking on all cylinders. You saw Tom early in the game wear his offensive lineman out, doing the typical Tom thing. Obviously, they start playing better after that. That's usually what happens.
Well, Giselle tweeted him.
And Giselle tweeted at us, "Hey, I think that she's trying to ease, like, hey, you know, we're not as far apart as people are trying to make it out to be. You know, it's the media, and we're a celebrity couple, and people want to really push the buttons. They want to make a story out of maybe nothing. Maybe there's something there. I don't know.
It's crazy that Tom's playing this early after getting a nose job.
What?
Did you see his nose?
Where'd you read that? Page 6?
Uh-huh. Have you seen it?
He did look different.
Yeah, he's got a
Tom's
super
been
skinny
looking
nose
different.
and his voice
Go look
is
at his
super
headshot
high-pitched.
every year. There's literally a
Oh, it's not the same
transformation.
person. It's an
every
alien.
year.
I don't know. But I don't know what's going on. But leave
He
the
took
man
that
alone.
hiatus
Leave the
to
man
get a
alone.
nose
Let him go
job.
do his thing. We won't ever find out. Maybe we will. Maybe when it's done, we'll have another Tom Brady documentary and talk about this last year and the retirement, whatever it is. But
He
he's
keeps
still
winning.
Tom. He's still winning games. The Bucs defense is real. Cowboys, I think, stink. And they stink even more now because Dak is out for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I would say he probably can come back between 5 and 6.
How long until Jimmy G's on that roster?
Whoa.
That's what we were talking about. That's
How
what we're
long?
talking about now.
Andy Dalton,
No, Andy
Nah,
Dalton.
we not letting him go.
Andy Dalton, we ain't letting Andy Dalton.
third
go.
rounder.
No, he ain't letting Andy Dalton.
How long until Jimmy G is on that roster?
Tomorrow.
Here's the better.
They're not
question.
letting him go because the
No,
Niners stunk.
No, here's the best.
They stunk. What do you
After
mean?
we
They
had that
played in a swamp.
After me and you had this conversation today, I was thinking, who else can they get? Instead of Jimmy G, maybe they go get not Daniel Jones. Who's the guy, the backup in Carolina?
Sam?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. I know he's hurt.
He's
but
hurt.
But he's not gonna be hurt for much longer, right? He's
I
only
mean, he was out for like a
2
first month. I think he's on the,
Oh,
the
is
pup
he?
list
Is
right
he
now.
on the
yeah.
pup? Okay, maybe not. But
He's got mono,
No, he had
No.
lingering effects.
that.
no, it does not.
It's
have
back
mono.
3 years later.
Yeah.
The mono
but
that just won't go
The
away.
Yeah.
Bucks look good defensively. Offensively, I think there's some room for improvement. Obviously, Godwin got hurt. We'll see. We get to play him next week. Saints get to play him at home next week. It's gonna be a good one.
What's the spread?
Bucks are favored by 3 on the road.
Is that what it opened up as?
Yeah. So,
Waska.
Ayahuasca. So I don't know. I think it's a big game. I think I like Saints plus 3. I'm not saying they're gonna win. I think they will, but 3 points on the road, being favored by 3 on the road in a rivalry game that after the Saints have dominated you for 2 years in the regular season. I don't know, but Vegas is good. They know a lot. I lost a lot of money in the NFL games last.
Hardest
I
thing
did
to
not win.
bet.
Not win any. I didn't win much.
Would you say
I won some in college, but not.
I had a nice parlay going until
All
it
the
wasn't
money
nice
that I
anymore.
won in
got
college
fucked by the
football.
long snapper?
Yeah.
All the money that I won in college football, I lost in the NFL. But
That's the way it goes.
it happens.
Yeah,
It's all part of it.
Cincinnati got me, and one other team that was part of this parlay. I'm like, what? How's this? happen?
Speaking of college, let's
Go to college.
move our attention to college. Let's talk about our guy before we get into the LSU game.
The back of Nick Saban's head.
Let's talk about our guy who wanted an up close and personal look
Lloyd was all over that.
at the Tigers, right?
It looks so bad, dude. I love my guy.
Hey,
It's
that was
hard
the
not to
first
like
time-
him.
He's 70.
That was the first time. That was
Well-
the first time that I've seen Nick Saban on the sidelines that he actually looked old to me. That was the first time I really.
Did y'all see him after the game, by the way?
Stop that shit!
Don't
Oh.
do that shit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. But then
He looked like the.
but here's the deal.
Wait, he said that shit like he was like somebody's grandpa on the porch, and he was just like, "I'm tired of seeing him do this to my trash cans."
But here's the deal.
I told you.
Don't do that shit.
There's poop on the porch again.
Don't put it out with your boots, Ted.
Shut up, devil woman.
He did it again.
Somebody come take a look at this damn cat.
Call the fire department. It's out of control.
It's out of control. God, he was, dude. Could you imagine? Like, what are you thinking if you're on Alabama? Like, Nick Saban's gonna be happy after this. Like, don't do that shit. Like,
That was great.
Oh,
I love
here-
it.
Here's my thing. I like that he did that.
of course. I mean,
If Brian Kelly does that, you're motherfucking Brian Kelly on the show.
no,
No, he is.
No. You got to pick one. I'm ready for him to settle into either be a dick or be a player's coach. Do one or the other. Nick's,
Why can't he do both like Nick?
He can. I'm just waiting to see the balance play out. He has to.
I mean,
he's a little heavy-handed when he goes all in, and he's a little loose when he kind of is just playing the small blind.
See,
He needs to talk to me.
I like what he did in the interview today, in the presser.
Yeah, embarrassed a woman.
After she made him a laughingstock for a week.
I
And
told
he
you
didn't-
I was gonna get you back.
But he didn't embarrass her like she embarrassed him. He
No.
made a joke. He made light of himself after she put him in the limelight for no reason. That's to me. Listen, we had this conversation, me and you, because you don't have a very good. You don't like authority, right? You have a problem with authority. We've established that. That was actually something that was very good for you to realize.
I've known it my whole life. I've been to therapy, and I didn't talk for
That's a
a
lot.
2-hour session. Didn't say a word.
That's a lot of information. I
Yeah.
don't think.
I was like 12.
You probably needed a couple more sessions.
Oh, I didn't
You
say
didn't talk
anything.
for a
I
2-hour
didn't-
session?
So
So how much of it did you sleep for? Because there's
I
no
just
way you
stared
were
at
awake.
You remind me of it's like Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I watched the movie right after, and they're like,
There you go.
"Give me a chalkboard and a."
So
wish
you were
you
quiet
were
for
that smart.
So you were quiet for 4 straight hours?
just two.
You said you watched the movie after.
Oh,
Did you talk during the movie?
Yeah, I was like, "This is what I would do." Yeah, no, that was cool sculpting.
But-
Did you watch the
Quiet.
movie or were you in the movie? Which one was it?
But the presser, back to the presser, to me is good. Like he didn't really embarrass her. All he did was make a joke because
deserved it, though.
he put 100%. Like we didn't really get into it. Like that's disrespectful.
She deserved it.
Like I understand you may have been joking, but that's not the time or the place to joke. Like to do that.
Nor
Like,
do you really have the rapport with him. But anyway.
Right. That's my point. Like, you don't have the relationship to joke, right? I get it. It was harmless, and he made a joke back, kinda, I guess. But he comes in, and he's a little late. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna make a little fun of myself for what happened last week, and I'm gonna say, oh, I brought $10 because I was a little late. And then then he took the liberty of making a little bit of a jab at
I like it.
the advocate, who's the employer of the reporter who called him out kind of last week, right? And like, it wasn't embarrassing. It's not going to make headline news, but I don't mind it.
I like it.
I don't mind. Listen, if you're gonna, I'm not gonna say it, but if you're gonna be in the situation at and want to put yourself in a spot where you're around like the mecca of college football or whatever, the highest of your profession, whether you think that's college football or NFL, like you're covering LSU, that's about as high as you get in college football, right? If you're going to put yourself in that situation, you have to act accordingly. And if something were to happen, you have to expect that listen, if I said something stupid to a manager in the big leagues, I'm going to get worn out. That's just the way it works.
Here's how it goes. If you're in the arena and it's not your show, don't take the spotlight. It's pretty
I like
simple.
that.
It's pretty simple.
Tell that to the guy that wandered onto the field.
Well, and I guess that's my point.
Made that his arena.
Wait, time out. He made that his arena. It was great because he was chilling, dog. He
Hey,
had
can
no
you imagine-
words. But my point is when those guys do that stuff, they don't ever just, hey, come on, walk with me, buddy. Just take my hand. No, you get dominated and pulled off the field because it's not your show.
It's not your show.
Don't take the spotlight.
Can you imagine?
It's really that simple.
Can you imagine if there was a turnover and came right at him?
Oh, dude, I was over there throwing a swing pass.
I don't think he would have moved.
He would have gotten decapitated, dude. Like,
whatever. That game was, dude. He was
Bro,
game ready.
buddy, he strolled out there like
bro,
Sunday walk in the park.
Hey, not only he didn't like put his hands on his hip like this. He went
Full dad.
He went like
Hey,
this.
he reminded
He went
it
dad
literally-
hands on the hip. Like,
It literally
oh,
looked
like
like he
my
opened.
beer gut.
It looked like he opened French doors, had a coffee, and was like, "Oh, look at this morning sunrise."
with the robe half open and his tidy whities on. He's like, oh,
Steam
man.
coming up from the legs.
That's exactly what he did. Cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Just like this. Like, okay. that's
Look
a
at what
good-
I've built.
Guess I go
a
get
good
this
day.
damn newspaper out front.
Yeah, shit. Told y'all them kids stop playing on my lawn.
Don't do that shit.
He was a swing pass away from
Oh
being in
my
the game.
God.
He
man.
would have gotten decapitated. Listen, honestly, I think I respect that more than someone trying to like run a streak on the field. Like, hey, that's like.
I thought he was gonna take his clothes off then.
But he just, I respect that he didn't. I respect.
I don't
that
think
he just
I don't think he knew where he was.
There's never been.
Look at this.
Like that casually, I don't really think he knew where he was.
There's never been this ever in the history of football.
I mean, we got
this.
motions going on.
I mean,
It's a spring game.
I mean that play, if it's to the other side, could very well get picked and go right at his face.
This is amazing. I've never seen this place.
And then he gets shocked by like, what do you mean I'm in trouble?
What you need?
Yeah, look at the quick
I'm
hands.
not supposed to be here.
Ha-pa.
What he's-
Ha-pa.
what he's like-
Hey, he had good, nice hand fight right there. You
Uh-huh.
can get off the line all day.
Oh, what is he? Are you gonna hit him?
His dad works for the
Don't
university.
touch me. Hey, you think
Really?
he said the same thing that
No,
Saban
you're
said?
lying.
No, he's
He's an engineering professor.
Is he really?
You don't think his dad?
You think that kid said the same thing Saban said when the guy grabbed him?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
that shit.
This dude's cut off. This goes back to my point of what we talked about last Friday.
Should LSU have gotten 12 on the field for this?
Look at this man. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? What's going on?
He
do you
said,
mean?
"What are y'all doing out here?"
What do you mean? You're in the wrong spot.
Hey, the
I
game's
paid
going.
for
Y'all should
this
get off
seat.
this spot.
I paid for this.
My parents had to pay
Here's my ticket.
$50,000 a year to do recess.
I mean, that's aggressive. His dad probably hates him. But this goes back.
That's aggressive.
This goes back
Very
to the
embarrassed by
conversation that we had last Friday. People were like, "Oh, we're playing Southern. It's the first home game." People didn't know if they really want to go out, do these things. I said, no. Listen, a lot of times it's the first tailgating game of your young college life, right? You should go to this game and use this as a dress rehearsal for the SEC season that's coming. People around campus, a lot of people learn their lesson because there's a lot of people that didn't make it to the game because of how much inebriated they
They
were.
got overserved.
Overserved. They probably overserved themselves, but goes to say that's why you need a dress rehearsal. But back to the game. Not much you can really, I guess, judge on the game, right? We talked about the one thing I want to see is doing the things.
There was one huge thing you could judge from the game.
Yeah, tell me.
When you play a team like that,
Yep.
that is what the score is supposed to look like. It should not be a game at any point in the game.
Right.
Which lets me know,
Right track.
not just right track, when you're at a school like this where the talent is where it is, if you coach it right, that's what's going to happen,
Yeah.
right? If you're unorganized and you ain't coaching it right, those teams linger around way longer than they
Right.
should.
Right.
That game was over in the first quarter.
37-0.
That game was over before we got to 8 minutes in the first quarter.
That band was over when they played net.
The game was over when he fumbled the first kickoff. You know what I mean? Like, it was, but that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to, if you're that much superior of a team than the team you're playing, show that dominate them, get off the field, and get the other guys to get on the field so they can start getting reps.
And
on
the
the
good
field.
and the starters can get their rest.
Right.
Right? They don't need to be in there just risking
Don't
play
even
after
bang
play
around.
after play.
No
They don't
way.
need to be doing that.
No way. And listen, look, you're not going to say, oh, they improved so much from the Florida State game because the talent level is different. Like, we weren't – it's not what I was looking for. I was looking for, hey, are they going to be sharp? Are they going to come out here clean? Or are they going to play and dominate like they should? They did. Jaden Daniels threw one incompletion. Looked really well. He had a couple plays where he probably could have ran a little early. The touchdown to Jack was very nice. He probably could have tucked that and run. He saw it and he realized, hey, I have the whole corner. I'm going to lead him out there and let Jack go get it. Touchdown. Like, he did the things he needed to do. They got Kayshawn involved early in the game with some jet sweeps and some easy throws.
Big run, easy throws.
I think they're starting to realize, I don't care who you're playing against, you have to realize, okay, what do I need to do to get the team in rhythm early?
I was about to say, I felt like what it took them so long to figure out in game one, they just built upon that from the start.
That's
of
what
this
you're
game.
hoping to see.
Right.
Now, obviously, you're playing Mississippi State next week, or this week.
He played
And
next year.
year.
And next year, too.
I think the year after year
I
after
think
that,
you're
too.
always going to
Yeah.
play them. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Until we get into the pods.
Will Rogers is a very good quarterback, right? They have an offense that nobody else runs in the SEC. Like, they throw it around.
They have a Mike
I
Leach.
think,
There you go.
call me crazy, I think
The slug.
that the way we run our defense right now, the coverages are going to be better suited for that offense than running the man coverages that we tried to run the last couple of years off of.
Maybe so. You still got to outscore them.
You
though.
still got to outscore.
That's a
No
team
doubt.
you're gonna have to outscore.
No
All
doubt.
of his offenses find ways to score. You have to outscore.
I
them.
feel like LSU's game plan last year was probably something that I don't know if they'll do the same thing, but it was something that they used.
So they play more zone.
Yeah, they just kept everything in
doubt.
front.
That's what
and
you have to
just
do.
Then you shrink the field, and you're like, all right,
Well,
try to do
all
it.
the crossings and stuff, like you can't run too many men because they're gonna
Yeah,
set
that's all
up
they do.
natural picks all day, and there's
Right.
gonna
All
be
they
people
do.
running free all
That's
day.
what
So you
happened
just
2 years ago.
Yeah,
Whenever
yeah.
they blew our doors
That's what I'm
off.
saying. You don't want to see
Yeah.
LSU look like that.
And I don't think that you watching the way they played secondary wise against Florida State,
They're
like,
communicating well.
and they were changing up their coverages. It was
Yeah.
man, it was zone, it was a little bit of mixture of both. Like, it was. I think that they're gonna be. Now, Will Rogers is a good quarterback, right? He's experienced. This is his third year starting. Like, he is good, and they're gonna have some wrinkles. And Mike Leach is a psychopath. He's a crazy man, and he's just gonna do whatever he needs to do to win the game. He's gonna have some great sound bites. Like, he's gonna have
Big soundbite guy.
big sound bite guy. But
Did he recruit you at all?
I think he was at Tech at the time.
he was.
Yeah.
He recruited my cousin.
Oh, that's what it was.
He recruited.
But he want to
Jacob.
shove him in the
and
closet?
And then he left when Jacob got Texas Tech, and then transferred. And he transferred to Memphis.
Damn, that could have changed your
But, I
cousin.
know. Oh, that's what he's going there. He's probably gonna be a starter.
Who was it?
Jacob.
No, that he put in the closet, and it was somebody that was a college football analyst.
Oh,
Became a big huff, but the guy had a migraine. He's like, I need a cold, dark place. He
I
goes,
thought
Yeah, he wasn't trying to like.
No, it got blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it did get blown out of proportion. Like, listen, I've had migraines in the baseball clubhouse, and I've gone to sleep in a closet. Like,
Oh.
the only place where I could have like a dark, quiet place
Did it
was
today?
a closet. You did it today, right?
you
Like,
slept in the closet?
I did it myself. I didn't put it in
Trapped
the
in the
closet.
closet.
Relax, R. Kelly.
Just in the closet.
We're a sports show.
He made 15 chapters out of that.
God,
It
dog.
just-
That thing never ended.
you
That's a
never
big ass
Go
closet.
back in the closet.
Clean out your
She's
closet.
almost
like Eminem.
15.
Jesus Christ.
She turned a little too old.
He's in jail.
Yeah.
He's in jail. He's in jail. But I think that this weekend's going to
He
be.
petitioned for juvie and didn't get in.
He went into too many closets. That's the thing.
I've been looking forward to this week because I want, like, as an athlete, as a player, like, I'm sure that they're like, hey, let me get back on the field. Now, obviously, last week is a little bit, but like, that's not going to change the narrative from anyone else, right? Like, they want to get back on the field and play a team that is
Competitive.
someone that they would think is equivalent to them talent-wise. I think LSU still has more talent than Mississippi State. Sorry, but
Even outside of that, like you're starting your conference schedule. Like,
right,
you know these
yeah,
matter.
and I think they're excited to get there. I'm excited to watch it. That's something that I wanted to watch. I think that you're going to see a lot of improvements. I think that it's nice to see like Savion Smith. Is it Savion Smith? No,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Savion Smith, defensive end. Right, Smith. I always get his name wrong, his last name wrong all the time.
Savion Jones.
Yeah, it is Jones. See, I knew it.
Savion Smith is the old.
The D-back, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
transferred.
Yeah. Savion Jones came in, played pretty well. You saw Harold Perkins play a little nickel, which is kind of crazy.
Kid's athletic as hell or no?
Bro,
Oh my
have a
god.
linebacker play nickel.
He's a joker.
You see,
Hey.
I think that may be his position.
Hey, he's a jack of all trades, bro.
What?
I wanted to see what more he had to say.
No, I mean the kid's
He's
electric,
good.
man.
I mean, he's going to be
good.
really
You
good.
can't
Like,
really keep him off the field. We were talking about this
He's
a little
good.
bit pre-show.
you just have to hone him in a little bit.
Because I think he got some of those reps at like that joker position or whatever you want to call it because of Mississippi State and they're going to be air raid.
Mm-hmm.
He might be one of your best options to. I know he hasn't covered a lot. He played linebacker, running back, but he's so athletic.
Yeah.
If you just say
But
The
know,
thing is, you don't want to expose him in that nickel spot too much.
No, that's what
no,
I
but
said.
I think it's like a float zone to like just react.
You
No,
know who I-
they'll let him play, but you know, like
Or go rush
we
the
can't
passer.
you can't straight up just leave him out there in a nickel because if you get in this conference schedule, it's just not gonna work.
You know who I like? You know who I'm glad he's back is Baskerville. Because he's the best cover linebacker we have.
Yeah,
And Brian Kelly said in his presser, he's like, he's a great cover backer. Like and against a team like Mississippi State, he's gonna have a ton of receivers, he's gonna have a ton of routes being out. Like you need somebody that can be able to cover him. I think that's a great guy to have back in the lineup.
What a game for him.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
a statement
Yeah.
game.
yeah.
Yeah, and like I'm glad that he was able to peel and get back on the field, and Brian Kelly said that's why we kept him because we felt like he was going to be able to come back and be able to play. Like he's a big key for us next week this week. Keep saying next week. This week because of how good he can cover. Right. I like the fact that I saw the receivers kind of get in on the action early on. You have our running back is coming back. You have
John
me-
Emery.
John Emery. There's a lot of like names on the roster that like I was thinking Emory Jones, obviously John Emery. Then you have Savion. Just a lot of people that come to your mind when you say Emery or John Emery. And you don't think of
John
names.
Kennedy.
That's not who I was thinking of, but John Williams.
John Wayne.
You don't remember John Williams? 4-star D-back from Pro Bridge. One of my friends. He's very
Dominic
athletic.
Davis's cousin.
Dominic Davis.
I know Dominic Davis.
Should have played baseball. Shouldn't have played football.
Oh, he was
He
electric.
would have been a first round pick in baseball. I played him in child baseball. He hit a home run every single game. You were on his team.
I was nowhere near the best player on that team. That guy was unbelievable.
I'm not, when I say hit a home run every single time, every single game we played him, every single game we played him hit a home run.
We just called him John Henry. Like he was a tall tale at that time. We were like, yeah, you're not John Williams. You're
John Henry.
But anyway,
Heart's
so
too big.
Oh my, good man, used to hit balls so hard.
John
We
Emery.
got 2 baseball bats.
John Emery's back, which is going to be huge. I think that's going to help. I think Emory Jones is going to eventually. We've talked about that before the season even started. I think Emory Jones is going to eventually find his way in the lineup, become a starter. I think it's going to solidify some line. It gives us more athleticism on the offensive line. Look, there's a lot of things that you can judge and you can watch and look at. Scouting against the teams that we played against, you're not going to see much. But seeing that we were able to take care of business, I think that was huge.
Keep talking, keep filibustering while I try to find out what the LSU line is for LSU Mississippi State.
Okay.
What do you think it is? I want you to guess the line.
LSU is going to be underdogs by
6
3
and a
points.
half.
It's at home, huh?
3.5.
I got it by 6.
They're plus 3.5.
LSU plus 2.
Plus 2.
I went down.
It changed this afternoon.
What was it?
It was 3.5 and it was 2. It
Oh,
changed
you could have got LSU at 3.5.
Told you. BG told us
I
last
know
Friday.
that's what I wanted to check right now. It's only fucking Monday.
It's okay.
Good
Maybe it'll go back
God.
up. Maybe it'll go back
Yeah,
up.
watch
Maybe it'll go back up.
I'm just gonna buy the 1.5.
Don't. We talked
Here
about
we
that
go.
too. Don't buy that.
It's not gonna go the other way.
But
What do you-
Over
last-
under? What do you think it is? Have you already looked?
No,
60.
I've not. Over under 57.5.
Oh, 55. All right, you're on it. So you're going under and Mississippi State.
I don't think I'm going under. I don't know what I'm doing yet, actually, with that. I got to think about that one more.
This is a great opportunity to take LSU.
What was the score last against Florida State?
They lost by a point.
24-23.
24-23.
I think so.
I'm not messing with the over under.
Yeah, I mean not either. But the last thing I want to talk about the Southern game
$1,000
is we're talking a lot about, not just us, a lot of people. We're talking a lot about, hey Lloyd, you may want to change the angle of the camera so that nobody looks at you making your picks.
That's a preview, dog.
Oh, why is my camera not the same as your camera?
Oh, because we don't have a guest today.
Oh, okay, so I just say fuck me.
Oh, do you want us to change?
Fuck myself.
Because I did that for the videos whenever we played.
That's
When
okay.
did you see that it was queued up?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
For the video.
I appreciate that. I was looking at your
Hey,
mustache.
Tommy Chrysan, cool it.
Whoa. Whoa. No, we're talking about the quarterback battle. We're talking about Jaden Daniels doing things people didn't like it, and like they're clamoring to get Nussmeier. I think Nussmeier is extremely talented. I think he's gonna be very, 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 very good. I see why they've started Jaden Daniels. You watch what Nussmeier did last game. Like he obviously he's extremely talented. Arm talent is there, right? He's still a little young. He still has to make some decisions. He threw 2 interceptions, forced some things, threw a pick 6. I'm not saying he's not good, but what I'm saying is maybe he's just not quite ready yet.
I think he still got a little too much of the gunslinger mentality, and he needs to hone it back a little more into the facilitator mentality right now. But that's what's making him, I guess, not trustworthy at this point, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think he was pressing a little bit to say like?
But that's my point.
But
Like,
that's the
that's
thing.
my
though.
point.
That
Yeah,
goes into the maturity a little bit and say, okay, listen, I'm gonna be able to just take what they're giving me, and if I go and I don't have an opportunity to make a big play tonight, that's what they're giving me, right? We're winning by a lot, and I'm gonna go out there and just do what they give me.
And that's what I meant by gunslinger. Like the first pick he threw, like that ball should have never gone there. Like why? Don't try to fit that in there. Facilitate it to who it needs to go to, or tuck it and do what you need to do. You know, and it's those little things right there that's got him where he is right now.
I just think it like you heard all of the rumblings of it's not 1 and 2, it's 1A, 1B, and he's like, this is Brucey's time to shine. Like, I'm going to go show you why I should be a starter.
Right.
Probably pressed, and I think he knows better than to make those
No,
throws.
for sure. I'm not saying, but
Because
that's
But we all know better, and you
that goes
do
into
something
the-
when things speed up. You know,
Yeah.
that goes into like, okay, like I know I can't force it. Like there's no reason to force it. Like this isn't just because I go out and I throw 4 touchdowns in the second half against Southern, that's not gonna give me the job right now, right? Like they've seen what I can do. Let me go show them that I've matured a little bit
and you can run an offense
mentally, and like not mentally, but like mature. Like, hey, I'm gonna take what the defense gives me. I'm not gonna put us in a bad situation. I understand that because I've been in that position too. Like, hey, we're getting our ass kicked or beating the shit out of somebody in the big leagues.
Let me show
And,
out.
Hey, you're a rookie. I'm gonna go put you in there. And the 6th inning we're up by 12. Okay, let me go. I'm trying to hit a 5-run home run every time. Well, that's impossible. So let's.
Bases empty,
why don't we?
grand
Yeah.
slam.
Why don't we just get a base hit? You know, why don't we just have good at bats? And that leads into, okay, this guy's having some good at bats. Let me just give him some more opportunity. That's what that goes into. That's a normal thing to do as an athlete. Is to say, you know what, I get my opportunity. Let me make this thing happen. And I think he's, like I said, I think he's going to be good. I said that was the last thing I want to talk about. The real last thing, which I think is going to come into play a lot throughout the course of the year. Brian Kelly is making a change on the defense. In positions, they're putting Jay Ward at the nickel, and they're putting Greg Brooks Jr. at the safety. I absolutely love that move because Jay Ward likes to hit. Jay Ward likes to run
Can you
around.
wrap up?
I get it, but Jay Ward at the nickel position, they're going to be able to blitz a little bit more with him. They're going to put him in a position to be a little like roam a little bit more, kind of like what
Jamal
Tyron
Adams
and Jamal Adams would do. Like, hey, bring this guy. He likes to be a little physical. He's very talented. Let me put him on the line and let him like go and get it. Like I like that. What do you think about that?
I like it too. I
think that's a good move.
I think it's gonna play big for him.
I think that's a good move.
Wait, what was the question you had for him? Pre-show.
What was the question I wanted?
I don't know. Pre-show. You didn't want to ask.
That's
Oh.
perfect. That's a perfect segment going right into what I want to talk about. So we have a little time left. I want to talk a little bit about the college football landscape that happened this weekend. I don't think
YouTube suggestion we go to a break right now. Should we do that?
no.
Okay.
After seeing
Spotlight.
okay, after seeing what happened to Alabama, after seeing what happened to Texas A&M, after seeing what happened to Notre Dame,
BYU.
after seeing what happened to BYU, has your mindset changed on the way that you viewed the first game of the season for LSU this year? Like, has your mindset changed? Like, oh, damn, there's no way we win 8 games now because of all these other teams that are so much better than us.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
I'm still one. I got
I know, but you can't go and take that back. I already bet that. So what I'm saying is, like, in your mind, you're not thinking. But my point is, after seeing other teams that are not even Ohio State for the first half against
No,
Arkansas
they
State.
didn't look that. I mean, they didn't look that great in game one either. I get
Yeah.
it. And Jigba Smith or whatever his name got hurt, but
But like they lost to Notre Dame. They almost lost to Notre Dame, and then Notre
I
Dame
think I
just got
saw
beat
that
by
was
Marshall.
the least amount of points they scored under that head coach there
So
in game one.
after seeing how after seeing the landscape and how other teams are playing, right? Does that change the way you view? Like, okay, like maybe I was a little too hard on the Tigers after the first game.
No,
Why not?
because none of the mistakes that were made were the same as the mistakes that we saw.
Because I'm hard headed and I have to stick with this, and I'm not folding.
You're
I'm
right.
not
The
doing it, I'm not
15
doing it.
penalties Alabama made, not the same mistakes.
LSU didn't make those mistakes. They didn't have 15 penalties.
The not getting the plays in, calling timeout, same mistake. You made that.
In a
Made a
true
comment
away
about
game.
that. The away game doesn't matter.
How?
That does not matter in
That's
that
like you're
situation.
saying Tiger Stadium doesn't matter.
No, that's
But you're saying that those happen because they couldn't hear stuff, dude. That happens.
He constantly had his head.
How many
under it.
times did you see us screw up clock management stuff at home? Like that don't matter. In the
I think
past,
it's gonna get better.
I'm saying in the past. So like you're acting like we were
Well, that's
over
what I
there.
was trying to get away from, right? That was the whole point of the.
Well, you
hire.
keep saying it was in an away game.
The
Like,
offensive
we've done
line-
that a million times at home.
Alabama's offensive.
know.
Alabama's offensive
In the
line
past.
wasn't very good.
That's why you brought in somebody else.
No,
Does that
because
like,
that wasn't
seeing
the
how
same
Alabama
situation.
And how all these good teams that are historically like very well coached have some mistakes that are unconventional that they don't normally go through. Does that change the way he views LSU's potential after watching LSU in the first game? Because
Oh, it does change the way I view the. No, I never thought it was going to be a thing. I just thought it would be corrected day one. Now that you see, I'll backpedal. I'll do whatever. I wanted to believe we're working through this. It's therapy.
This is good. This
to
is
get
what you
me
need.
to an
This is what you need.
optimist. I'm trying
That's
to
what you
get
need.
there, but
you got till 6:10.
the foibles that happened in the first game.
The what?
Foibles.
Don't try to use big words.
ACT words.
The huh?
Don't try to use big words.
FOIBLES.
Use it in a sentence, please.
Yeah, the foibles that happened at the LSU game when you cannot block up an extra point, that's where it's kind of draw the line if it happens more than once. Okay, I'm cool with the Malik.
So we can
Davis.
only call one timeout and not be ready for one play. That we're done with that for the year.
No, I know that shit happens. Like that's not new news to me. That's gonna happen. New program, new system. I understand all that. But
That won't have shit to do with it. Saban just did it. What are you talking about?
I know.
It's not new program, new system.
Do you think Saban's happy about how the way that transpired?
No.
Okay.
What you
But
think
that's
they're
not-
happy
that's
about
not
it?
Our point.
That's not
You
the
think,
point.
You think Brian Kelly's happy?
No.
That wasn't the
So
question.
then that's not the point.
Yeah, that's not the thing I'm harping on the most. Like, I know it's going to be hard to get new plays in whenever you split reps with the new quarterback. Maybe Nussmeier, they try to do the 1A, 1B, and it's not going to be the cleanest thing in the world. I was talking about more of, can we can we block down on an extra point? That's all I was saying. You see what
Boy, I
happens.
tell you what, if we can't do that, he ain't gonna coach here long.
Right. I think that was a fluke.
honest
I think
to
that
God,
was
yeah.
I think that was a one-off. That was a fluke, right? You had Florida go up there at home, lose to Kentucky. Now Kentucky is good. I think Florida got jumped too high in the rankings at 12. I don't think it should have been 12 at that time.
What a tough stretch to go from Utah to Kentucky.
I don't
I
think-
know they're
yeah.
both at home, but that's two back-to-back
No doubt,
world
no doubt.
beaters.
But like they weren't perfect. Again, like people thought, like, oh my god,
First year head coach.
right? Like they weren't. They were 12 in the country.
And
like,
what
they weren't
what I
perfect.
told y'all about Richardson, I'm like, unbelievable talent. I want to see if he can actually.
Yeah, he's just
throw.
very inconsistent right now.
Throw the ball.
He's got to hone it in. Obviously Alabama has a Heisman quarterback. That's why he was able to come back and win and make a play.
Is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's great. He's very good.
It's very slippery.
Yeah.
That third down, what the corner blitz coming off the edge, unprotected, and he.
I think his
that's
chest.
the
I think his
game.
chest touched the ground.
Yeah.
And he just slithered out, and that's why.
Good hips. You know.
He's a robo quarterback. His dad has been paying for lessons since he was like 6 years
Yeah,
old.
he's
They-
very
well,
good.
they
I still
paid off.
think-
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
He's already got his ROI back. Like he's got it all. He's making
doubt.
money on it now.
God, what a great feeling.
But my whole point of this is just
Unless you're
I
Jackson
think
Street.
that people make an assumption and they're quick to panic, and then you go back and you see a lot of these teams who aren't used to you're not used to seeing them make some of these mistakes or play a little sloppy. Whether it's because of the same things, it all goes into the sloppiness, right? Like LSU was sloppy for certain reasons. Alabama was sloppy for other reasons, but they were still sloppy, right? That still goes into, oh, this is uncharacteristic. This is something that's weak. Do you think Alabama's going to have 15 penalties every game?
Well,
No.
and Alabama never plays those games. That's one of the few out of conference true road test games they've been in the last, like probably in the Saban era,
Right?
Because he avoids those. He's smart to do how he schedules it out.
Well, because he knows
enough.
Well, he knows he's grown that program to what it is that he doesn't need those.
Right. If we win our conference, if we play well enough in the SEC, I don't have to go play Texas.
He doesn't need those.
And a 10 a.m. kick at
Yeah, that's tough.
Austin.
And I'll be honest with you too. The 10 a.m. 11 a.m. bro, those
That's a
are
difference.
tough to get at. And when you're the traveling team,
Yeah.
those are tough to
Yeah,
get.
no
up for.
doubt.
And you
Those
can't-
guys are not used to doing that.
You
Right.
can't hear Gus.
And it was
Johnson.
103 degrees, and Gus Johnson's blowing your eardrums out when he's talking.
I think they could hear Gus on the field.
Bro,
Like, I'm just gonna be
Gus,
honest. with you.
listen, I like the energy. It's a lot. Now,
Well, it's a lot for
those
that early.
those games I can deal with because but
You
like
need it.
the first week of the season or week 0 or whatever game you're calling, and you're like,
Acting like it's
yeah,
the
that's
end
a
of
little
November.
much.
Yeah,
It's a little much.
Yeah, how much you think they tinker with Gus's volume on his?
I mean, the guy next to him's got to have
I have to
earplugs,
do it. I
right?
do it over here all the time because we all talk at once occasionally, and I can see it get into just the fucking red. And I'm like, whoa. But I couldn't imagine working for Gus
Oh,
because
boy.
let that man cook.
Oof.
That's tough.
But you need it. I feel like he does a good.
No, he does. He brings good energy. He brings great energy.
That 10 a.m., 11 a.m., like Red River Shootout, that game, like you're like, you know when it's a big one.
Yeah.
56-yard punt.
I think Gus.
Touchback.
I think Gus should be in the offseason until the voted. I guess not even BCS now. It's until the voted college playoff rankings come out. That's when games start
Yeah.
meaning stuff. Like Gus, come on out now,
Yeah,
man. We
no
need
doubt,
you now.
No doubt. Come
We
out.
don't need
Come
you
out.
before
Come out
that.
of come behind the curtain.
Before
Show
that,
yourself.
you still in the offseason.
It's gonna be huge for the 16-game playoff.
Oh,
But
he's
outside
gonna
of
be great.
like Georgia won 33-0, whatever, like their defense is going to be their thing. Kentucky's impressive to me.
I think they were better than I thought they'd be.
Yeah, Kentucky's impressive to me. Arkansas is impressing me a little
I'm not
bit.
sold on Kentucky or Arkansas just yet.
I'm not, but they're impressed. They're better than I thought. Like there were a lot of hype going into it.
Arkansas
so,
is
like,
more
they look-
physical than I thought.
Yeah,
they'd
they're
be.
better than I thought they were going to be. I still think they're beatable. Tennessee, I like their quarterback a lot. I still don't know if they're real. I don't know. Yeah.
Great love bet.
Yeah, but like I like their quarterback a lot. Is it Hendon or Herndon?
Hendon.
Is it Hendon? It's
Hendon.
Hendon, right? Hendon Hooker. I like him a lot.
I like Heupel too.
Yeah, Heupel has a really good offense, but I'm not completely sold on them. But my whole point to this whole conversation
Does
is
that scare you?
what?
Seeing him being a former Heisman winner turn
No.
into dough.
Turn into what?
Oh, to turn into dough? No, I mean that's on him. It's his fault.
You don't like the bodysuit he puts on for the game?
Why would that scare me?
I'm just saying because
You want me to turn into dough?
No, I don't want you to, but I'm just saying.
I
like-
think our body types.
What are you trying to
look
say
different.
over here, Lloyd?
I'm just saying because I feel like I don't know what athletes think. I'm not an athlete. I'm terrified of it every day.
I have a phobia.
Oh, I could get it back anytime.
No.
Then you
I have
look
a-
up and you're 48 years old coaching in college.
I have a
like,
phobia of
Oh,
that.
I look like shit.
I have a phobia of that, so that will not happen.
We all have a phobia of that in this room, except for Jared because he's been touched by God.
You just wake up like, yeah, I don't know, no big deal.
All I gotta do is show up.
You saw me sweating, damn it.
All right, we're gonna give a little Monday, a little light show. I know y'all don't have to get out. Y'all don't have to get out.
Oh,
y'all,
no.
y'all can close it down. I just have to get out.
I feel like we hammered everything.
We did. It was an hour and 10-minute show, short show. I'm sorry for the people who want a longer show. We're gonna have a lot more conversation on Wednesday. We're also gonna have guests on Wednesday.
What do we make of Eli Ricks? It's been
Was there any
suspended.
baseball games played this weekend, or did they take off to watch football too?
Listen, this weekend is a tough baseball weekend. Hey,
Hey, how about
Tommy
like,
Pham
wait,
came
time
out
out.
after the game and said, "Hurry up! I gotta finish the interview so I can go see if whoever his quarterback was, see if he played well. He's back in the fantasy world, boys."
Listen,
He
I
gets
get it.
slapped again.
Wait, time out.
Or
I
he's
get.
gonna slap somebody else.
I don't think the audience are exactly the same, but shame on the U.S. Open for the U.S. Tennis Open.
Yeah, but that's every year. That's what they do every year.
We gotta put it on some other weekend than opening weekend in football. We're
I
losing
know.
a lot of eyes on
I know, but
that.
that's what they do every year.
What's Game of Thrones doing trying to compete with
Yeah, that's-
Sunday Night Football?
No,
It's
no,
not
you
Game
just
of
stay up
Thrones,
until
it's
after. What
House
do you
of
mean?
Dragon.
That's all.
House of Dragon.
HOD?
I
Isn't
stayed
that
up
what
and
it
watched
is,
it
right?
after. I don't care what you say.
I didn't watch it. Did you watch it?
Are you in that?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen
Oh,
it
you
yet.
pervert.
What you mean?
all right.
It was pretty
Hey,
perverted.
before-
it wasn't perverted. It was kind of incest.
Little
but that's all
dark,
I'm gonna say
little
about it.
dark.
Oh, it's dark. It got dark.
Um,
It got dark this
Before
episode.
we go,
I think it got probably very light.
before we go, what do you got on today on the game tonight?
Real vanilla.
Strawberry blonde. I got fucking
Neapolitan.
burned by.
Is it what's the three colors?
Neapolitan.
it
That's
Neapolitan?
Just, strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. You punch her in the nose. I am on because I got burned by the Bengals second string long snapper throwing the ephus back there. I had Bucks, Bengals, Saints moneyline parlay, which I had no business winning, but it turned out it could have been a winner and should have been a winner. I doubled down, took Bucks, and now I took Denver moneyline in a parlay for actually a nice little shekel. When the odds weren't as bad as you would think, Bucks are already cleared. Let's see what Mr. Unlimited.
I need him to win because if Denver gets upset, I lose both of my Survivor picks in 1 week, the first week of the season.
And you work in this industry.
First year in the Survivor pool.
Who was your first pick?
Tennessee was lost. I thought they were gonna beat New York.
Well, Superman Saquon showed up, so that didn't work that
But
way.
I have Denver -6, and I have the prop bet
Is it
on.
worth taking to the spread? It might be.
I did.
How could the Seahawks
Well,
be good?
I have the
don't
prop on Russell to go 303 touchdowns.
That's
So
crazy.
okay,
Is it all 3 throwing?
I think it's 3 passing touchdowns.
I mean, that's a
gonna do
day, coach.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
All right.
I'm willing to have it. The big flag football game
Damn, I
tonight.
did curtain calls and everything.
I know. I had a curtain call too, but curtain call to Justin Reed, kicking off, made an extra point and kicked the ball through the back of the end zone on a kickoff because the kicker got hurt.
did.
Also,
And then he kicked the next one literally.
yeah, way right. Also, shout out.
That's like when you hit a good drive. You're like, wait, do I know how to play golf? Like,
Second-
no, you
No, I
don't.
don't.
Second curtain call to Harrison Butker, came in one step to 50-yarder.
He did.
That's a shot. That's unbelievable.
Wait, okay, if we're sticking on the kicker game, did you see the Southern kicker that was spatted up on both ankles and missed both field goals?
I didn't really watch their kicking unit like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't expecting much.
Have
I
you
didn't.
ever seen a kicker spatted up unless
No,
it's in the longest
that's new.
yard?
Justin, that's about it.
That's it.
Justin Reed, that's about it.
All right. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, watching. I'm sorry that the show's a little lighter, but we'll be back on Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. We'll have
Stop
guests.
doing that.
We'll have different. I was playing with the wire.
That's right next to the microphone.
We will have some guests. We will have a lot more conversation on the Mississippi State game. We'll break it down a little bit more. We'll talk more about Mississippi State. Well, we'll talk about that off air. I don't want to give you any teasers here. Okay.
3,
Yeah.
2, 1. Say it. Name him. Say it.
Oh.
Do it.
You're watching Mik'd. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Please like, share, subscribe, share it with a friend. Like us, comment on us. We're on all podcast networks, Apple and Spotify.
What's the score tonight? How many tuds?
Russell Wilson's throwing 4 touchdowns.
No, you.
Oh, I don't know. I want to throw 2. I just want to throw 2. I'm not gonna shoot it. I'm not gonna go as I did last time because I gotta work some chemistry in there.
They humbled.
We're gonna
him.
get a dub though. Gotta get a dub.
How many times did you get sacked last time playing quarterback?
Well, there was no rusher at the time because it was like.
There will be one
different-
tonight though.
Yeah, which I can't. That's
It's
what
gonna
I need.
be the
I need
different.
That. I need that.
Can
Yeah.
you run if they rush?
Yes. I can run no matter what. I don't have to wait till they rush.
Are you thinking about doing like the triple option snap where they kind of send you in motion, you can catch it on the run going right? You can do that.
Maybe.
Y'all need me to. If you need help, let me know.
Okay. Yeah, you can be our brains.
I'm 3-0
Okay.
as an offensive coordinator,
There we go.
head coach.
All right.
Powder puff football.
Yeah, well, I'm not Powder Puff.
OTPHJ.
All right. Mic'd up. Brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We'll see you on Wednesday.
What's
Peace.
your powerful holy Jesus?
Oh my God.